Yeah. So Ruby, good afternoon. And Das, good afternoon. Margaret, good afternoon. Jyotish, Sushobha, nice to see you, Sushobha. Hearty good wishes. Welcome to this workshop. Lovely to see you here. And Zia Ali, good afternoon. Divya, good afternoon. So nice.
So I think we can start, Arun.
Yes, ma'am, we can. Stefania,
okay.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. It's my great pleasure to introduce Arun Wakhlu to you. Arun Wakhlu is the founder, director, and chief mentor of Pragati Leadership Institute, Pune, India. He's also the chairman of Pragati Foundation, an NGO dedicated to unfolding joy, peace, and abundance through facilitating connections, conversations, and co-creation. An accomplished writer, Arun has published more than 28 papers and written the award-winning book, Managing from the Heart. Today, he will lead us into a workshop titled Awakening to Wholeness. Over to you, Arun.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Stefania, and a very hearty good afternoon to everyone and a hearty welcome to the workshop on awakening to wholeness. Now, as the name suggests, we will be having a workshop, so there'll be a lot of interaction and inter conversation. So what I would request is that if you can unmute your videos and your mics, and let's just have a quick round of introduction, just a few moments, and then we'll go further. Yeah, so I request all to unmute their videos. Let's see each other and just share briefly, just one or two lines about yourself, and then we get started. So Sushil, you want to start?
Sure. So very good afternoon to all of you. I currently am a facilitator and a coach. I do corporate trainings, leadership workshops, and I'm on my path to understanding myself and the world better. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, Bhavi, Pramod, Jyotish. Yes, go ahead. Bhavi, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Bhavi and I work with an organization in Delhi. And I proudly call myself a facilitator, a youth facilitator, because we work on building the capacity of young people to be able to create safe spaces around them and dialogue in those spaces. Dialogue as a tool to transform the conflicts. So
Right.
That's about me, and I'm here to learn more, explore more, and yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Bhavi.
Thank you.
Jyotish.
Hello, my name is Jyotish, and these days I'm not doing anything. I'm just living my simple life. I want to live simple life because I learned from one course. It's called Living Utopia, and that's what I'm trying to live my life, utopian life. I don't know so many things coming from this workshop, but let's see how it goes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jyotish. Yeah, hi. Hi, Sean, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes. We're just doing a quick round of introduction, very brief, very quick. And so
Sure.
Why don't you go next?
Sure, okay. Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Pereira. I'm from Pune. And Arun, I was, very thankful for Arun to inviting me to this. I like to think of myself as a student of life. And so this is one more lesson for me to check out and understand and see how I can be a part of the bigger whole, everything, the entire universe of existence and all things. And so, awakening to wholeness is, I think, a very important aspect of that. I mean, how do you understand the whole of things if you can't awaken yourself? So this is why I'm here.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Margaret, Ankur, Das, anyone else? Please go ahead. Sushobha. Yes, please. And again, if you are called to speak, fine, but it would be nice to see you and just listen to you. Where are you right now? And a little bit about yourself. Margaret, would you like to go in next? Or Ruby or Sushobha or Lata? Divya, just go for it. You can do it. One of the practices we're going to follow is about silence and being mauna and being silent. But I didn't expect it would start at the beginning of the workshop. Okay, Lata, thank you. Would you like to, yeah, just unmute yourself, please, Lata. Thank you.
Sorry, I just joined in.
Yes, yes. We're just doing a round of introductions, brief introductions. Yeah.
From Mumbai. I'm a retired professor from TISS, and now being engaged in the creators of peace movement in India, working with peace circles. And
very nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Margaret, Ruby, Christina, Zia, Divya, anyone, Ankur. Okay. So I'm assuming that you'd rather be silent and witness silently. But if you're not speaking, just mute your mic because there's some background sounds coming in. So if you're not speaking, just kindly mute your mic. Thank you. Okay, so here let's get started with what it's all about. So basically, let me just tell you where this whole thing is coming from. But before that, I just want to say a little bit about the feeling of gratitude I have right now, because, I'm just feeling a tremendous sense of gratitude, a tremendous sense of connectedness with life. And maybe it's because of the pandemic and what the last 2 years have done to all of us. But, seeing all the suffering, seeing all the things that are happening, for example, in Afghanistan, or the things that are happening in the world and all the suffering, then you begin to wonder that, is there a way out? Is there some way to find a solution to what's happening, especially the conflicts between different faiths, the misunderstandings, and the problems that we see around. So this is the thing that, when I saw the invitation from Interfaith, from Rukmini and Stefania, I said, okay, let me do a little workshop and meet some like-minded souls and people who are drawn to this. And therefore, I'm very, very grateful to you for showing up. And over the years, all the experiences that I've gone through, all the different teachers I've met, and quite a few teachers, I feel a tremendous sense of gratitude, whether it is Swami Bhumananda Tirtha or His Holiness or Osho or Ramana Maharishi or Swami Lakshmanju from Kashmir, where my home is, then Maharishi Maheshogi, Muji, Vimla Thakur. I think every single teacher has contributed to whatever understanding has emerged. So I'm full of gratitude to them. And I'm full of gratitude to you, dear friends, because I think in our conversation, I think something beautiful will emerge, something nice will emerge for sure. Yeah. So basically what I intend doing in this workshop is simply this: really relook at this whole thing of faith, see if there is any common thread in all the faiths, and if there is, what exactly is that? How is it related to wholeness? How is it related to all of life? And more importantly, what are a few simple practices we can follow by which we can embody this wholeness, embody this, and really live it out with every breath, with every single moment. So this is what I intend doing. So it's going to be interactive. I will invite you to unmute and participate, and we'll watch a little film, and my colleague Pramod Takle will also help us with something called Mentimeter, which I'll explain in a moment. So it's really about rethinking about who exactly are we, what exactly is faith, what is God? Because if we keep thinking about things in the same old way, we will keep getting the same old results. And for years and years and years, we've been getting the same results, the same conflicts, the same things. So is there a way to rethink things, to maybe even drop thinking and just relax into the silence of the heart? Could there be something else that might enable us to move towards a more peaceful, more abundant, more joyful, more creative, and more integrated world, which is healthy for all, where everybody is really benefiting? So if you look around at the people in the world, you just look at the people and just look into their eyes, and you see that we are all people who have come from the same earth. Our bodies have come from the same earth. They've come from the same elements, whether it's carbon or nitrogen or oxygen. I mean, we're all really made from the same earth. And when you look into the eyes of people and you ask, deeply, deeply ask, what exactly do you want? What exactly are you looking for? And not a single person will say that I do not want health, or I don't want peace, or I don't want my children to be happy. I don't want to be healthy. I think every single one of us, irrespective of culture, irrespective of race, irrespective of our geographical location, I think every single person wants exactly the same thing. And if you look at all the different faiths, if you look at all the different faiths, and I'll come back to this film in a moment. If you look at the different faiths, I think all the faiths have the same core principles at their heart. Every one of them. It's like you might have a masala chai, you might have a ginger tea, you might have lemon tea, you might have mint tea, or kombucha tea or anything, but all of them are made of water, and that is what is the common thing in all faiths. But before we come to looking at what is the common thing, I just invite you to look at this little film called The Cosmic Eye, which I'm going to request my colleague Pramod Takle to show us. Let's just look at this, and then we will come back to what is the common core of all faiths. So Pramod, over to you. Invite you to just show us this little film, please. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Pramod. Thank you for sharing this. And let me just quickly ask people in this room, how did you feel watching this film, zooming in all the way to the deepest electrons and protons that make up our body, and then zooming out into the cosmos, the galaxies, and billions of light years away? Just unmute and tell us how you felt watching this movie. And then we'll come back to what we're doing. Anyone? Yeah, Sean, please.
I was amazed that firstly, I'd never seen a zoom out that big. So that really put things into perspective. And then when it came back down inside and it went into the eye and then the femtometers, it's all the same. That's the feeling I got out of it. Yeah.
That we're all made up of the same stuff. The bodies are made up of the same stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that the entire structure, like if the human body is the universe, the entire universe as we know it, then the femto that whatever that thing was, the femtometer is one individual that's us in the entire universe. And so it's a mirror. we're a mirror of the universe, basically.
A mirror of the universe. Beautiful. Thank you, Sean. Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else would like to share what, just watching this, what does it evoke in you? Yeah, Sushil, go ahead.
So I think two very contradictory thoughts that came. So at the same time, I felt significant and insignificant, both.
Interesting.
So there's suddenly a realization, I think we take life too seriously.
Yeah, we sometimes take life so seriously, thinking that, oh my God, and then how insignificant we are at the physical level, but also on the other hand, at the level of consciousness, the entire galaxies and everything is held in our ambit. Yeah, so we'll come to this. Thank you for sharing this. Okay, so coming back to this cosmic eye, the reason we wanted to share this is primarily to point to the fact that deep down, no matter what our faith or religion or whatever it is, we're really all the same. Now, I invite you to do a little poll, and you will see the results of the poll instantaneously on this question. What is the common core of all faiths? Whether it's Islam or Sikhism or Jainism, what do you think are the 2 or 3 things that really are the heart, the essence, the nichod, the juice of every single faith? Yeah, now what Pramod has done is, in the chat box, he's put a thing called menti.com. And so you go to that little thing and enter a few words. You can enter up to 2 or 3 words. Yeah, so you have to go click on the chat box, click on the link that Pramod has sent you, and we will have a word cloud here showing us exactly what is the common core of all faiths. Yeah, so yes, please, anyone? The words, as you type them, will start appearing inside the Mentimeter. So, and you can put more than one word, you can put more than one word, you can write 3 or 4 words. Based on your understanding, your studies, your reading of different faiths, what's at the heart of it all? And the bigger the word, the more you will find, more people are saying that. Yeah, for example, if the word love is coming up very big, many people are saying love. Okay, or for example, peace is coming up. That's again coming up by many people. Yeah, so let's see what's happening on the Mentimeter cloud. Okay, so here we are. So let's see. Love, peace, harmony. So love and peace and harmony, respect for life, compassion, forgiveness, oneness, acceptance, community. Beautiful, beautiful. That's lovely. And remember, you can write more than one word. So if you want to write more than one word, please do that. Yeah. Okay. So respect for life, respect, knowing myself, compassion, oneness, humanity, inner voice, listening to the inner voice, listening to the intuition that's within. Fantastic, fantastic. Being honest, being unselfish. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So you see, the common core is the same. We might have different flavors of practices. We might use different words. We might have different rituals, but I think all of them are pointing to humanity, community, being our real self, forgiveness, faith, acceptance. I think all of them are saying the same thing. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, thanks, Pramod. This is a good sense of what the common core is. So yeah, thank you. And thank you all for putting in the inputs into this thing. Yeah. So now my question is this, that if this is the common core of all faiths and the common core of all faiths is exactly the same, then what happens? Why is it that we start fighting? Why is it that there is so much violence? Can anyone respond to that? If the common core of all faiths is the same, and you saw that just now, what is the thing that comes in the way of peace and love and harmony? Anybody would like to share? And then we'll look at a few points and then some stories and then the practices. Anybody would like to share?
So, Arun, I
Yes.
think it all boils down to, at least for me, the way I see it, it all boils down to the moment I separate I from everything that is around me.
Okay.
So the ego, as I would call it, which is aham, right, or me.
Or my sense
right?
of, yeah.
Sense of me. So the
Sense
moment I do that, I separate myself from everyone else, and then everyone else is different. On the other hand, actually, every one of us are the same, born of the same elements. But I think we bring our ego into it, which is what I believe largely is all about fear and insecurity.
Beautiful, beautiful. Right. Thank you, Sushil. Very nice, very nice. Anyone else would like to respond to this? What comes in the way? If we are all really made from the same stuff, everything is the same, we all come from the same sun, all really one life, then where does the problem arise? So Sushil is saying it's the ego. Anyone else has any other thoughts?
Competition?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Competition, and I would say our all thoughts that we are carrying, maybe I could say ritual, these things, and even insecurities that make us fear.
Wonderful.
Fear.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
The fear and insecurities, as Sushil also mentioned, is the reason it happens. Yes. Thank you. I think both of you are saying the same thing in different ways. Basically, the thing that really creates a problem is, if I just go back to this, this whole thing about identity, that, okay, I am a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Shia Muslim, I'm a Sunni Muslim, I'm a Nirankari Sikh, I'm a Mahayana Buddhist, so these different identities born out of clusters of thoughts in the mind is the thing that creates the sense of separation. And like, for example, I read today that Afghanistan is very upset that Rumi is being touted as a person from Turkey or as a person from Iran. And they said, hey, he was born in Balak. So how come you guys are saying he was born in Turkey? Or, I mean, he's a Turkish fellow or Iranian. He was actually born in Balakh in Afghanistan. So there's a huge thing there that, he's our Rumi, he's ours. And Rumi, on the other hand, says, I don't belong to any nation. I don't belong to any religion. I belong to life itself. So what happens is the ego, which is the sense of self, and it is a false sense of self because it's really a piece of fiction. It is a piece of imagination and thoughts coming together. This is the thing to which we get attached, and this is the thing that creates barriers between people, between nations, between faiths, between departments. In an organization, Sushil and I, we work in many organizations. We find even within organizations, we find many, many barriers coming in the way. And if you look deeper inside, if you really go deeper inside, you find, hello, there's no self there. There's nothing at all. It's just a question of memories from the past, future thoughts, a bundle of thoughts in the mind, which create guilt and regret and grievances and sadness and bitterness coming from the past, and fear. I think, as you said, Jyotish, fear, what's going to happen in the future? What will happen? This small I who is so fearful of what the future will bring is also part of the ego's imagination that I am separate from the wholeness of life. And when you get rid of this, when you learn to be more in the now, you learn to be more present, you learn to put your attention on the here and now, the past memories and the future thoughts go away, and we're left with the purity of the now. We're left with a profound sense of peace, profound sense of joy and presence, and a profound sense of possibility, a silence in the heart. And this is so liberating. It is so beautiful because it's the same silence and the same peace that is at the heart of everyone. Once you let go of the mind, the past, and the future, you let go of that and you focus on the now, it's the same sky. Exactly the same sky. When you let go of the clouds of the past and the future, it is the same beautiful sky of awareness that is present everywhere, in the now. And it's a space of tremendous peace, tremendous power, tremendous possibility. And friends, behind the clouds of the mind, behind the clouds of identity, behind the clouds of getting identified with a certain place or a certain religion or a structure or even a thought process or anything, behind all that is this profound space of silence. Now, I just want to tell you a few stories, but before I tell you these 3 or 4 stories, I just want to share with you about Ramana Maharishi, one of the greatest sages in India. And he said, no matter what your faith, no matter what your spiritual pathway, you will come to before you can enter post high, before you can who you are, you will always come to the same gate. So he says, don't waste time, come to that gate right away.
I'm on a Zoom meeting.
And can I just request our friend to mute, please, whoever is speaking? Yeah, so the thing is, what is this gateway? The gateway is simply the question, the inquiry into who exactly am I? So when you look past the body, when you look past the mind, when you look past all the roles and all the memories and all the identities and everything, when you look past all that, and you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you go on stripping away and peeling away all these layers of identity and mind and whatever, you're finally left with a profound silence, which is almost like the sky. It's just absolutely silent and peaceful, and it is pure presence. And in fact, it's nothing but the silent witnessing awareness. It is just a beautiful space of silence and presence. And what happens is, and this is very, very interesting, when you find that the bubble of your I has burst, has dissolved, I mean, it doesn't mean your body disintegrates or something. It simply means this false sense of I is burst like a bubble. You suddenly find that you're nothing and you're everything. There's no boundary. There's no boundary between the limited I and all of life. And suddenly you find that you are one with wholeness, not as a separate entity, not as a separate identity saying, oh, now I'm one with everything. No, nothing. It's a very, very amazing mystery where if you say, are you there? I don't know. Are you not there? I don't know. Are you this? Maybe, are you doing something? Yeah, maybe the body mind is doing something, but are you doing something? There's no one there. It's a very, very mysterious feeling. You don't know if you're empty. You don't know if you're full. You don't know if you're doing something or not doing something, but there is a profound peace and a profound presence, and it is possible. And these friends is our natural or real self. It is pure awareness, unbounded awareness, which has no boundaries. And therefore you can't say awareness is this little thing out here and I'm going to find out what it is. No, it's just the mysterious field, pure, infinite, and wide open. And it is also a space of tremendous love, integrity, wisdom, and peace. Because it's the same. I mean, whether it is Sushil Prasade or Sean Pereira or Jyotish or Sushobha or whoever, we are all the same infinite love, infinite peace, infinite integrity and wisdom. It's the same. Our bodies are different, our memories may be different, our experiences may be different, but at our core, we are one with this incredible real self. And it is beautiful. It's unconditionally kind, unconditionally honest, it's wise, it's sincere, tender, affectionate, sensitive, compassionate, without reservation. It spontaneously and naturally bubbles up in all these beautiful values that humankind cherishes. And the key is no I. Remember that the I is separate. The I is false. The I is not there. The I will only give us I trouble. So let's just drop that. And the simple way to drop that, we'll come to 9 practices. I'm going to give you 9 practices by which we'll look at that. So here's a little symbol, and I'll tell you the story of the symbol. I was playing with my dog Zorba. He has a beautiful rubber ring. I was playing with it, and so it was a 0. It's like a 0. Then I gave it one twist, and suddenly it became infinity. I said, oh my God, that's interesting. The same 0, you give it one little twist and it becomes infinity, and then you let go of infinity and it becomes 0. So this symbol is symbolic of the mystery of life. At one level, it is transient, it is ever vanishing, it is fleeting, and yet at another level, it has within it infinite possibilities, infinite love, infinite compassion, and infinite joy and peace. Now, if we could remember this, if we could awaken to this, if we could just be this, which we are. I mean, it's not that you have to do anything to be this. You're already this. You are already the ocean. We just imagine that we are a wave, and we think we get stuck in fear. We get stuck in all kinds of separation. Hello, you're just a wave that arose from the ocean and will go back into the ocean. And you are the ocean, the eternal ocean of life. That's who we all are. Now, if we remember this, and if we remember that this is the truth, this is who we are, this is the source, we will be in we will co-create a very different world, because every single religious faith, whether it is Islam, or whether it is Sikhism or Hinduism, or it is Judaism, or it is the Baha'i religion, or it is Zoroastrianism, I think everyone brings something beautiful, beautiful to life. I mean, like, and I'll share some of these things. But can we, remembering our wholeness, remembering our oneness, can we weave these beautiful things together into a tapestry that will inspire, inform, heal us in a way that I think deep down life wants from us. Yeah. So before I come to the practices, I'm going to stop sharing and I will tell you some stories. But before I tell you these stories, I want you to say something and share your thoughts at this point. And I'll tell you 3 or 4 stories, and then we'll look at the practices. Yeah. Please feel free to share any thoughts, any doubts, any confusions. Yeah. And every single religion, every faith brings so much richness and so much beauty to life. I mean, like, for example, the Zoroastrian faith, good thoughts, good words, good actions. My God, how simpler and easier can it get? Hey, keep your thoughts pure. Keep your thoughts good. Do good actions that make you happy, make others happy. Good thoughts, good words, speak words of kindness, speak words of courtesy, speak words of joy and forgiveness. I mean, hello, beautiful. Yeah. Or for example, in fact, in the 9 practices, which I'll share with you, will bring a lot of good stuff from many, many streams, which we can practice to remember our infinite wholeness, to remember the unbounded consciousness that we all are, and unbounded joy and peace that we all are. But I would love some interaction. I would love to talk with you when it's not. I would love to hear you. So please unmute and please do share something, whatever you want to share. And I must thank Sushil and Jyotish for sharing. At least I'm engaging with 2 people. Yes, Sushil. And then
I think
Sushil and then Margaret. Yes, please.
so. I think the share that you did about the 0 and the infinity with the twist, I think highly profound. Just realize that we are, at the core, we are all the same. We are all Anu, right? Atoms, molecules, right? And the same molecule can create an atom bomb, right? A nuclear bomb, and the same can be used for so many other beautiful purposes. So
absolutely,
I think
yeah,
we are all energy at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And Sushil, incidentally, when you go deeper into the atom, you find that there's not even a particle there. There's no
it's energy,
proton.
only energy.
It's just vibrating energy. So whole body is just vibrating energy and held in a consciousness and a field. Margaret, thank you, Sushil. Margaret, ma'am, let's hear you. Any thoughts from your side? Please unmute.
We are all minute specks of dust in this huge universe.
Yes.
And we are all the same. Yet in our sameness, we squabble because of our egos. We are full of I call it bullshit. I mean,
Yes. How nice.
and cause a lot of disharmony in society.
Absolutely. Yeah. And absolutely. And Margaret, I want to share something that I learned from Satya Sai Baba. So he says that whenever you see the cross, like in many Christian homes, you see the cross. He says, think of the vertical bar as I. Think of the vertical bar as I, and cut that I out. Say, hey, that I is not really me. And I is not me. Neti.
Yeah.
That's not who I am. That is just the body mind. And there is only the Holy Spirit. There is only Allah. There is only the divine core. And not me. I'm not this. And Vedanta says the same thing. Vedanta says, Neti. You're not the body. You're not the mind. You're not your roles. You're just pure consciousness. You're pure Shiva, pure Allah, whatever you like to call it.
In other words, we are the that.
We are that.
Whoever that is. Yeah,
absolutely.
Correct.
And that, Margaret, the moment you start defining that, you create another ego around it. So you can't.
I know.
You
but
can't Fine. You just have to keep, someone said that trying to explain the mystery of wholeness is like a dumb person trying to speak the taste of honey on their tongue. What can you say? You can't say anything. Yes.
Can't say.
Best is to be silent and to remember in your heart, yes, that's it. Bhavi, tell us, and thank you, Margaret. Thank you for sharing. Bhavi, yes, please.
Yeah, so I had quickly two things to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
And one is that we do talk about, mind. I mean, this is quite spiritual for me. And even though I believe that, the self-awareness, all of that it's a process. It's not something, that you achieve in a day or in 10 years or something. But I also feel that as a young person, there are very less spaces for me to explore or to even be self-aware, right? I know that it is important to even have a conversation about the things that I'm discovering myself.
Absolutely.
There's no space for me or many such young people to explore their own, to understand that, there is this tension when I have several issues to deal with, like livelihood problems. I'm living in poverty. I don't have a space to even sleep in my own room at night.
Absolutely.
And amidst all of that, if we say that, we should be aware and we should be kind, or especially when my life is not kind to me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And amidst all of that, how do we introduce this? So I think my question here is also that when we talk about creating safe spaces for young people, but how do we translate that in a very critical, in a very, let's say, a very trauma and a very, let's say, with refugees.
Yeah.
If you work with refugees and if you go there and tell them that, this is your safe space, you explore yourself, your mind, body, I mean, it's just existential crisis ke beech mein, how do we bring this?
Very nice. Beautiful.
How do we introduce this
Beautiful.
with social context in
Beautiful.
That's my question.
Bhavi, thank you for this absolutely beautiful, wonderful question. Really appreciate it. And I know where you're coming from, because having experienced these kind of things in Kashmir and in other places, I know the kind of, when a person is going through so much pain and suffering, what exactly is the way to take it forward. So I would just offer two things. I think a safe space is a space of unconditional love. It is a space without judgments. It is a space where you're not trying to push a certain agenda. You're not trying to do something. You're not trying to achieve anything. You're not even trying to make peace, because if I say I'm a peace builder, then hello, that's another form of the ego coming in. So you have to first, as a facilitator, as a practitioner, you have to be like an empty flute, completely surrendered, that my mind is not going to be able to guide me. Sorry, my mind will give me another spiel and some other story and all that, but the purity and silence of the heart, in that I will be guided as to what I have to do and how do I create the space. That is one. So personal practice, Bobby. Dispassionately coming home to infinite compassion, to love, to silence, and using the 9 practices which I'm going to talk about in a few moments. Number one. Number two is to honor all that is happening in the life of the other person, to listen to that, to give a space for that to come out, not to start by saying, okay, you have to awaken to wholeness and now you have to do this. And now, no. Just stepping back and say, okay, come, express what's happening. There's tears and there's this one, there's anger, and let that come out. Like if a boil has to be healed, you have to let the pus come out. You have to let the pus come out. So can I create a space where I'm absolutely anchored in the infinite silence of the heart, and I allow all this to come out, and then gently sensing respectfully, moment to moment, what has to be done, then we take the next step. Are you getting it? And I fully agree with you. There are very few spaces where young people can do that. But Sean, myself, and a few others, we're working on creating these kind of spaces for young people to just be themselves without being told, do this or don't do this or you must do that. Just spaces where they can be themselves.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And I completely understand that this work has to be actively, because I have been at the receiving end of it. Like I have been in a safe space. Prabha also works to create such safe spaces for young people to, just explore, experiment, and just come
Absolutely.
out.
Correct.
But it's a very crisis situation, and it's
It
also very
is.
difficult to
It is.
be there and especially maintain this as a facilitator.
Yeah,
So thank you. I look forward to the principles that you're going to share.
Sure. And be in touch, Bobby. We'll be very happy to
sure.
share. Just two small things I just want to share quickly. You know, people in our profession have this idea that I am holding the space. You must have heard this, I am going to hold the space. I say, hello, please don't hold anything. Just be the space. Be the space. Don't hold anything, because otherwise, I'm holding the space and I'm going to, I, and all that I trouble comes in. No, you have to be ruthlessly, just cut away everything and say, I'm surrendered and empty. I don't know anything. Malik, tere ko jo karna hai, tu kar le mere through. Now you will say, hey, that's a funny, how do I do that? Well, you don't do it. It's a mysterious.
That's a lot of internal thing that has to happen.
Exactly.
And as a facilitator, when we go on the field, if there is a lot of ego and it doesn't work. I mean, me being a young person, I know I wouldn't want that.
Yeah. And so, Bobby, you can go on toiling. Okay, let me tell you a little story. So this is the first story I'm going to tell you. Man, at the age of 80 is telling God, please give me the grace to change my life. So God said, यार तेरी साल तो 80 साल का हो गया, अभी तू कहाँ था, अभी तक कहाँ था? इससे सर लंबी कहानी है. At 20, I set out to change the world. And for 20 years, I tried to change the world. And I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even change my family. Forget the world. My wife used to squeeze the toothpaste from the middle, and I told her, squeeze it from the bottom. No change. Then I said, okay, at the age of 40, I said, okay, let me try and change my wife and child at least. And for 20 years, I struggled with them, trying to change my wife and child. I didn't succeed. So my age became 40 से 60 हो गया. And then defeated, I said, okay, now let me try to change myself. I'm smoking, not good, bad. I must change. Again, I'm smoking tomorrow. Again, I'm having alcohol. Again, I'm hitting myself and beating myself up, trying to change myself and getting disheartened. And I became 80. And nothing changed. I'm still smoking at 80. So now I'm fed up. I'm surrendering to God and says, God, now you please let your grace do anything. मैं तो हार गया हूं. And God said, if at the age of 20 you had surrendered to my will and had let me work through you, the world would have changed by now. So Bobby, I have been like that man in the story for many years. I have tried this and tried that, and it doesn't work. Failure with a big F. Nothing works. And now I'm realizing that whatever has to happen, let it be the will of Allah, let it be the will of Shiva, and I am going to just say, tell me mere ko kya karna hai, and listen to the inner voice and do that one step at a time. Yeah? Okay. Good. Thanks for your question. One more, and then we come to Sis.
I want to say something.
Yes, please, Jyotish.
So these days, I'm a little bit questioning myself that if negative is truth, then how can you find the positive inside the negative? If negative is truth, then how can you find the positive inside the truth? And I was like, these days I am trying to surrender myself, but still I'm struggling with so many surrounding negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't know what to do.
Okay. So very good. Thanks for raising this question. See, remember, even the slightest dot of sand in the eye can hide a mountain.
Yeah.
Right? And the ego takes all kinds of forms. Like, for example, now I am surrendering. I am surrendering is a golden ego with I am surrendering. I is still there, no? I trouble is still there. Also, this whole thing of positive hai ki negative hai, again, the mind comes in. The truth is neither positive nor negative. I ask people, what is better, breathing? Let me ask you, what is better, breathing in or breathing out? Which is better, breathing in or breathing out? You can't say breathing in is better, breathing out is better. These are polarities. Life is full of all kinds of polarities. So Jyotish, just follow the practices that I'm giving you, 9 practices. I have to get to them quickly because 2:30 we are closing, 3:30. So pick up some of the practices, make notes, and then follow them diligently. And this is also to Bhavi and to Prachi and to all of us here, including myself. Let's put it into practice. Is that okay? And then you will see slowly, by the grace of God, automatically what has to happen will happen. Okay. So back to the practices. Only one little story I'll tell you. One quick story is, remember something that, okay, let me tell you the story. Mullah Nasruddin was going around all over the city looking for something lost. So people said, Mullah, what have you lost? What have you lost? He said, I've lost my donkey. They said, okay, but then he had only one donkey and he was sitting on the donkey looking for the lost donkey. And life is like that. We look for things like the musk deer. We look for the source of the scent in this and that and everywhere, not realizing that it's our own real and whole self that we're looking for. So having said that, let me just share these practices with you. And they come from many different faiths. They're not from Hinduism or Islam or something. They come from all kinds of different faiths. Let me share the practices. The first one is remembering. Just remembering that I'm infinite. Just remembering that, hello, I don't have to do a thing. I don't have to go to Mount Kailash. I don't have to jump up and down. I don't have to do anything because I'm already that. I'm infinite consciousness. And 3 little mantras that can help you there is, one is Soham. Soham means I am that. I'm infinite consciousness. I'm infinite joy, infinite ananda, Soham. The other is Allahu. Allahu means Allah is everything. Who means infinite. Allahu, everything is Allah. Everything. This truck going past my home right now is Allah. You listening is Allah. The dog, saying who is part of the divine oneness. And this third mantra is Vahe Guru. Vahe Guru means, Vahe means infinite, Guru means teacher. You are the infinite teacher. Vahe Guru, Allahu Soham. Remembering. In Sufism, this is called Zikr. In Sikhism, this is called Sumiran. To remember, just to remember that, my God, everything is Allah. Everything is God. Everything is love. Beautiful, beautiful practice. I do it. I mean, it's simply remember, words make worlds. One little word and boom, yes, oh my God, yes, it's all Allah. It's all God. This is all Shiva dancing. Everything is Shiva, everything is Shakti. And don't get stuck with the words. I mean, I can say water, I can say vasar, pani, tanni, aab, poin. All of them mean the same thing. Mujhe kya matlab hai yaar? Pani hai ki tanni hai ki vasar hai, Allah hai ki Shiva hai ya Ahura Mazda hai. Arey yaar, drink the water, yaar. Just drink the water. Enjoy in the moment. So remembering. Second, gratitude, attitude of gratitude. Be grateful. You had your lunch just now. Hopefully you had your lunch. Who's digesting your lunch? Who's making your heart beat? Has your heart ever said, sir, I've been beating day and night for 40 years, 35 years, or madam, I've been beating 35 years. When is my next increment? When is my next promotion? Nothing, just beating. Tremendous gratitude. for the breath that we are speaking, I mean, for our breath, for breathing. And remember, behind the dark clouds that we see today, the violence, the sadness, remember the divine presence is behind those clouds. Don't forget that everything is held in the larger presence of infinite love. That's why a cloud has a silver lining, and AG is argentum in silver. So easy way to remember: silver lining, appreciation and gratitude. Appreciate what's good about life. Thank people, thank yourself, thank your body. And you will remember God in so many miraculous ways, because there is so much to be grateful for. You're hearing the birds in the morning, you're seeing the flowers bloom, you're seeing your body is digesting the food, you're breathing, I'm awake. You know, just think of this. If I gave you, say, $10 million in the morning, and I said, okay, you get up in the morning, and yes, you get up. But if you don't get up tomorrow and we say, okay, this is the end of your life, will you give me $10 million? Will you take $10 million and tomorrow morning you won't get up? You won't have a fresh start? You'll say, no, what are you talking about, man? Forget about $10 million. I won't never, ever. Which means your waking up in the morning is worth $10 million. And every day you're getting that. So Alhamdulillah, thank you God, thank you Shiva, thank you Shakti, thank you life. Gratitude is a very, very powerful practice. Keep saying thank you as much as you can. And remember, when you appreciate people, look at what happens to the heart rate. When you appreciate, it becomes beautiful. The heart rate pulsates like that. It goes up to 80, then it comes down to 60, then it goes up and comes down. Beautiful, harmonious pulsation of the heart when there's appreciation, when there's gratitude. It has nothing to do with religion. It's a simple practice, gratitude. Third, prayer and affirmations. Prayer and affirmations. Prayers are like seeds. Remember this, words make worlds. Words make worlds. Your thoughts have power. That's why in Zoroastrianism we say, Hukta humata huvarshata. May your words be energizing. May your words be powerful. May your thoughts be powerful. So when we say good thoughts, good words, they are like a prayer. Breathing is like a prayer. So there is a group in Japan called Byako Shinkokai, and they have a beautiful sanctuary near Mount Fujiyama. Yeah, this is their sanctuary. And they just are constantly praying, may peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth all over the world. And these every year, thousands of nations, all the 160, not thousands, 163 nations on the planet, they all gather there and they all have may peace prevail on earth in their own language. Beautiful ceremony, and vibrations are spreading. Your vibrations of prayers of healing for others, affirmations of healing are spreading. Now practice that. Next one, courtesy. You know, in Kashmir, they say, ba adab ba naseeb, be adab bad naseeb. Ba adab ba naseeb means if you're courteous, if you remember that the other person in front of me is also an expression of the same divine wholeness, is also another wave on the ocean of God's love, how can I not be courteous? How can I not be kind and courteous? I have to be courteous. This lady in front of me is my own self, infinite self in a different form. She is me. We are one. So courtesy. And Baha'u'llah of the Baha'i faith has said, O people of God, I admonish you to observe courtesy, for above all, it is the prince of virtues. And I've seen in Kashmir, I think some of the most beautiful people in terms of their culture, their values, their courtesy, tremendous hospitality, tremendous courtesy, tremendous goodwill for you, tremendous affection. And I think despite all the troubles that the place has seen, I think the core of courtesy is strong. And linked to that is the fact that do not underestimate the fact that others see things differently. I mean, some of you say this is a duck. Someone else will say, no, it's a rabbit. Hang on, let's understand what the other one is saying. Don't just say, no, no, I told you it's a duck, or a nonsense, you're talking nonsense. This is really a rabbit. It's both and neither. Is this 6 blind men and the elephant? Somebody says it's a snake. Somebody says it's a spear. No, no, you're talking nonsense. It's a fan. In Jainism, there's a beautiful concept called Anekantavad, which means that there are different perspectives that different people have. So don't be violent. Don't think that my truth, my way of looking at it is the only one. That's another form of ego. See, well, let me humbly listen, and the word listen and silent have the same letters in them. Let me listen, let me understand. And again, that's part of being the same, creating a safe space. So courtesy, listening, very, very important part of this. And the golden rule, treat others the way you would like to be treated. If you would like your, if you would like to be treated in a certain way, well, then treat others the same, because that's the golden rule. And every single faith in the world has some scripture, some things about the golden rule. I mean, it's small there, so you can't read it. But every single faith, whether it's Baha'i or Islam or Judaism or Jainism or Zoroastrianism, every one of them is saying, treat others as you would your neighbor, treat others as you would yourself. Love thy neighbor, be kind and courteous. Seva, let me tell you a story. I went in 2019, I went to Toronto to speak at the Parliament of World Religions. I had to give a talk there. And I went with great expectation, thinking that, oh, it will be such a beautiful, harmonious place, and it will be, everyone will be full of silence and love. But my God, it was a noisy place. I'm being honest. I'm being very, very honest with you. It was a very, very noisy place. And we went into the basement of that place in Toronto, and there were shops all around, shops. It was like a plaza, mall. It was like a spiritual mall. Everyone pushing their wares. Here's my CDs, here's my book, here's my mala, here's my course. Everyone pushing their wares. I said, hello, I thought I came to run away from the marketplace. And yet here's another kind of marketplace. But friends, the reason I'm telling you the story is not because of the marketplace. It is because one thing stood out in that whole Parliament of World Religions, and that is the Sikh Sangat of Canada had come together to serve 10,000 participants of the Parliament of World Religion a daily langar. Every day, 10,000 people from all faiths, all communities, all parts of the world would be sitting, and the Sikhs would be giving them khana, doing seva, and wishing them well and wishing the whole world well. I think just this, just remembering that seva clears up your ego. Now, if you sit down outside a Gurdwara and you start polishing shoes, you might be a Gyani Zail Singh or you might be Manmohan Singh. But the fact that I'm doing seva to the Guru, who's Vahe Guru, who's the infinite Guru, who is everything. I'm doing seva to that Guru by polishing the shoes of this person. It makes your ego become dissolved. And I think that's what it's really about. And another favorite story of mine is the story of the salt doll. So this salt doll had been going around the whole desert and walking, and suddenly it comes across this shimmering blue sea. So it goes, the salt doll goes closer to the sea and says, who are you? Who are you? So the sea said, okay, I'll tell you, come a little closer. And the salt doll came a little closer, and a wave came, and suddenly her feet vanished. She said, oh my God, where are my feet? He said, no problem, come a little closer. And so she goes in and keeps asking, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And the waves come, and her legs go, and her torso goes, and then a final gulp wave comes and sucks her into it. And then as she's getting into the sea, dissolving into the sea, she says, now I know who you are. You and I are one. I'm you and you are me. So that salt doll which came out of the sea went back into the sea. And friends, that's what life is about. And seva as a practice, Just unconditional seva. Pick up a plogging bag, start cleaning the streets. No problem. Don't say, oh, this, that, nothing. Get a plogging bag, let's start cleaning up. Let's create food. In the Karuna times, we had Karuna kitchens. Okay, get food from here, get food from there, wherever, cook it, let's serve. It is extremely dissolving and brings you back to wholeness. Compassion in action. Just remember that, you know, in Buddhism, there's a beautiful practice I want to share with you, and that is that everyone was my mother in some janma or the other. Just remembering that everyone was my mother. Everybody was my mother in some janma or the other. And therefore, I have to treat them with courtesy. How would you treat your mother? You treat your mother with great respect. Well, your mother's standing in front of you. She was your mother in some janma or the other. And it doesn't have to do with gender. It could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be anyone, but this person has been your mother. So treat her with that same respect, affection, and compassion as you would your own mother. And here again, going back to what Baba was saying, you know, be like an empty flute. Let universal compassion play the music. I mean, in Hinduism, there's a beautiful metaphor. We say we don't play the, you know, I don't play the flute. You don't go to a flute and say, oh, what a lovely Rag Bhageshwari you played, how beautiful you played. No, you don't praise the flute. You praise the player of the flute. And if you say the wholeness of life, the infinite love that is life, is really the player of the flute, and I will allow that compassion, that love to flow through me, you will find that magic begins to happen. Not your magic, not because you did anything, but because it is the universe working. Another metaphor I love to use is all kinds of colors you have. You have so many possibilities, yeah? But don't get stuck with any color. Don't get stuck with any color. I mean, one of my favorite stories, His Holiness, when he completed 50 years of his stay in India, he was so full of gratitude. He came to Delhi and he went to a mosque and he prayed at the mosque. Then he went to a Gurdwara and he prayed at the Gurdwara. Then he went to a Zoroastrian temple, he prayed there. Then he went to a church and he prayed there. I mean, such beautiful act that we are the same. We're really the same. I'm any color. I mean, I can be any color. Now, I heard today morning, a Jan was talking to a Sikh person and he was saying, you know what? I love this mantra, Allahu. I love it. I just love it. It just goes straight into my hara and, you know, I can feel that energy rise. But I can't do that in the Jain temple. My Jains will throw me out. They said, you become Muslim. Erroneous. Can I go into a dargah and bow down to Allah who is everything? Can I go to Vaishno Devi and say, Ma Shakti, every bit of life is you? Can I go to a Ram Mandir and say, Rom Rom mein Ram hai, Zare Zare mein usi Ram ka, usi Allah ka noor hai? Can I do that? Can I go to a Buddhist monastery and sit silently, remembering that silence is in my heart? So trust the compassion in your heart to guide you. Trust that emptiness to guide you. And remember, compassion, if there's in the slightest I'm going to do this, I will heal this elephant, sorry, off beam, you've forgotten that compassion, there's no I. The compass of no I, look at that word, how beautiful it is, the compass of no I. It's a compass, it'll guide you, but there's no I there. Don't make it another ego. Let your compassion be a compass of no I. Yeah, and remember, mother. Everyone has been your mother. You have been a mother to everyone in thousands and thousands of cycles of birth and death. You have been someone's mother or someone's child. Radical forgiveness. There's a lovely book here which I have referred to for many years called A Course in Miracles. And one of the exercises it says is, the moment you catch yourself judging anyone in the day, say, I forgive the person. And what that means is when you judge someone, you're sticking a label on them. This person is like that. This person is like that. And you have again got stuck in the mind. Again, you got stuck in the ego and limitations. But radical forgiveness means I remember that she is infinite compassion. I remember that he is the same as the Vahiguru. I remember that I am one with the wholeness of life. And when you do that, you come back to peace. You come back to peace. You come back to wholeness. Otherwise, you're always judging and pointing fingers, and initiatives of change where I have friends, Sushobha, and I know initiatives of change. This is a beautiful thing that says, when I point a finger at my neighbors, there are 3 more pointing back at me. Yeah, so judging, pointing fingers at other people, putting yourself on a pedestal, wrong number. Forgive, forgive. Be humble, be open, listen to inner guidance, and stop judging. Forgive. Forgiveness is the opposite of judging. Very beautiful practice. Try it out. The moment you try to catch you're trying to judge someone, stop. I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive the other person. I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. And come home back to your wholeness. Come back home to peace. Come back home to oneness. 2 more practices, and then we will get into the closing circle. Pause. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Take time to just pause. Take time to just sit still. Watch your breathing. And you don't have to do it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. 1 minute bhi kafi hai. 1 minute bhi bahut kuch hai. Yeah, it's good enough. Even 1 minute is quite a bit. So let's just take a moment. I invite you to just be silent for 1 moment and take a pause. Yeah, so just take a pause. I just be still. I'm going to ring a bell, and I just want you to simply relax in the moment and be silent. Okay, so just give me a moment. I'll just get the bell. Okay, for just 1 minute, we'll be still. So just, moment of silence, just watching your breathing, breathing in and breathing out, and remembering I'm awareness. I'm the awareness that is watching the breathing in and breathing out. And it's just happening on its own. Puts you in touch with the profound silence and peace and awareness and energy and unity of life as a whole. So do this often. And even, friends, I've seen that even 1 minute up, Anudhyan, Alpdhyan bhi karenge, 1 minute, 2 minute, good enough. But do it several times a day, and you will find that beautiful things happening. And of course, once in a while, maybe a retreat, a 5-day retreat or a 10-day retreat, just means silence, without the cell phone, without the computer, without the internet, without Meta, and without Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. You just throw it out of the window and just be silent. And also, if you go to initiatives of change, they'll share with you the importance of inner listening, and that is a process by itself. But again, it comes with being in the now and listening to your inner guidance, and checking it for purity, honesty, unselfishness, and love. Yeah, so that process is also available. But again, be silent, listen to inner guidance. And again, when you start pausing, you shut your eyes, you become silent. But slowly then, even when your mind is awake and alert, still you're mindful, still you're in the now, And that creates its own beautiful practice. And you practice mindfulness, you mindful eating, mindful walking, mindful listening, and slowly by and by you come to a state of dissolution and oneness, which is centeredness, where you feel that, okay, there's no one there to be mindful, nothing, you just, life is happening. Yeah. And finally, rule number 6. There is a Rabbi Simcha Bunim. He says, put 2 slips in your pocket. In the left pocket, 1 slip. In the other pocket, put another slip. Whenever you're feeling high and mighty and, I'm going to do this and I'm going to change the world and I stuff, pull out the slip which says, this body is dust and to dust it will return. And that puts your ego into its own place. And whenever you're feeling low, pull out the other slip. And on that is written, I'm pure, unbounded consciousness. I'm infinite love, infinite compassion, infinite silence, and creative intelligence. And the whole cosmos is my playground, and I will enjoy each moment. And rule number 6 is a very peculiar rule. Once 2 prime ministers were sitting together, and one person came running into the room and said, sir, the economy is crashing and the stock market is going down. And the prime minister said, rule number 6. And the person suddenly became calm and relaxed and all that. Then someone else came and said, the enemy has got all its people on the borders and, we are going to have war and da. I said, rule number 6. And again, this fellow calmed down and went out and so on. And the other prime minister said, may I ask you, what is this rule number 6? He said, oh, very simple. It means don't take yourself so damn seriously. Don't take yourself so damn seriously. Remember the film that Pramod showed us, The Cosmic Eye. Remember the whole cosmos. The speck of Earth is not even a pixel. It's not even micropixel in the larger scheme of things. Remember that God has the whole world in his hands. The whole universal intelligence has the whole world, including yours, in your hands. Many people come to me and say, "Mere career ka kya hoga? Career ka, what about my career? What about my life?" And so one master, his student came in the same way and said, what about, he said, get me a rosebud. So the master gets a rosebud and he tells the student, now open it out into a rose. So the student said, how can I do that? It's going to fall apart. He said, no, try. So the student peels out the calyx and he takes out one petal and another petal, and the whole rose is disintegrated into tiny bits. He says, but if you leave it alone and let the sun do its work and nature do its work, does it become a beautiful rose? He said, yes, it does. He said, the intelligence that is making this bud into a rose, will it not look after your career? Will it not look after your unfolding and your work? So friends, not to take ourselves too seriously, to relax a little bit, keep doing your work sincerely, but not to take yourself too seriously. Because when I am none, we are one. There's no such thing as Hindu silence, Muslim silence, Christian love, Jewish love. It's the same love, the same peace, the words that you put out in the beginning. So remember, when I am none, we are one. And also, my question to you, again, going back to Mentimeter, is which practices of wholeness do you intend to continue or start? So again, Pramod is going to put it up on Mentimeter and you'll see the results. So over to you, Pramod. Let's just see which practices out of these 9 are you already doing, or do you want to continue or start doing? Just let's take a quick look and then we'll close. Yeah? Okay, Pramod, over to you. I'll stop sharing. Yeah, and meanwhile, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take any questions because we'll be closing in a few minutes. But Pramod, first, which of these practices would you like to try out? The things that remind you of with all of life. Yeah, and just press enter to pause the screen. That okay. So please, and I will just remind you of them again. We had my wholeness, we had gratitude, we had prayer and affirmations, forgiveness practice, we had courtesy, just being courteous, We had seva, rule number 6, compassion in action, radical forgiveness, pause, and rule number 6, don't take yourself so damn seriously. We, especially the activists, all of us activists, we are like that man trying to change the world. Our job is not to change the world. Our job is to love people, love everyone, love people, and let God change the world. It's too complex. Even the most clever mind fails. So who are we? Love people, forgive, be in silence, enjoy the moment, courtesy, compassion, forgiveness. Wonderful, wonderful, very nice. Lovely. Thank you. Good. So those who have not yet written, just put down something. Compassion. Yes, compassion in action. Remember, everyone is your mother. Everyone's your mother in the last life. Treat everyone like you would your own mother. And remember, everybody is a wave of God. Everything is sacred. Everything is sacred. Everything is beautifully sacred. Because it's God, it's all God. God dancing, Shiva dancing. Everything is Allah. Everything is the same one compassion, that one love. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Excellent, excellent. And incidentally, I'm going to write up all this. So all the stories and everything will be with you in a written form. I'm going to send them to Rukmini and to Stefania, and then you can have all these ideas in front of you and you can choose what you want. Very nice. Yeah, but see, even meditation and spirituality can become very serious. Don't forget that. I am doing this and now in fact, one person said, I'm going on a crash course. They said, which crash course are you going on? He said, I'm going on a crash course in relaxation. And the same guy said to God, his prayer to God was, God, give me patience and I want it right now. God, give me patience and I want it right now. Okay. Thanks, friends. Thank you. Thank you for your sharing, and Pramod, thanks for firing this up, and we will just get into the closure part now. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate this. Put it into practice. Believe me, you will see the results on your own. You will see tremendous results as you keep going forward. And for me, one of my biggest practices is to remember everything is love. Everything is unfolding beautifully. Don't make that an excuse for laziness. Do your bit, listen to guidance, and trust life to do what has to be done. We've all gone through a very tough patch thanks to COVID and Corona. Can we now move from Corona to Karuna? Can we bring more Karuna onto the planet, starting with myself, starting with my own thoughts, words, and actions? Let's bring more compassion in. And friends, as more compassion comes in, the old world will fall apart, and a new world of wholeness, a new world of joy, peace, and abundance of love made visible will emerge. This is why we're here. This is why you and I are here. This is why we had this session. Not through any great strategizing, but humility, understanding, gratitude, seva, compassion. A wholesome new world that works for all will be born, and we will do it. It will happen through us. Pardon me, we will not do it. God will do it through us as we are surrendered instruments into his or her hands. Now, I don't want to get into an argument. Is life his or is life her? It's both. It's both, his and her. But above all, it is love in full expression. Yeah, so let's remember this, remember our wholeness, and express love all the time in whichever way we can. And hold on to this understanding with great care. Do not get dissipated. Let's not get dissipated into social media and metaverse. And I mean, there's so many distractors out there now. Facebook is coming with a thing called Meta, in which, you know, all kinds of things will happen in cyberspace. You can play cricket in cyberspace. You can do everything in cyberspace. In fact, the other day, somebody asked me in a program, he said, sir, we have artificial intelligence. Now will we have artificial God? I said, no, there won't be artificial God. Life is real, and life is love in full expression. Let's be with that. And remember, hundreds of jugnus, hundreds of fireflies, when they get together, can be like a lighthouse. So my deepest prayer and intention is that can we be jugnus of God's love, of God's compassionate action, of holding the space, not holding, being that space of love, of silence, of integrity and freedom. I'm saying you're amazing because you're part of a magnificent reality. You're part of this dance called life. You are life. And that's why you're amazing. And I bow down to you. I salute you. And I would have given you a hug if you were physically present, but you can feel my love. I really love you, and we are loved together. May we celebrate and be one. I will request Stefania to share my coordinates with you later. Is that okay, Stefania? Whoever wants to get in touch with me, just get in touch with Stefania, and we will be in touch. I would, and Sean and I and Anna and a few of us are writing a book for young people. So Bhavi, stay in touch. All of you stay in touch, because young people today are the leaders who will co-create a world that works for all. Okay. Thank you, Stefania.
Thank you.
Thank you all. If you have any questions, just email them to me. I will happily answer your questions, and I promise to Rukmini and Stefania, I'm going to write up all this and put it out in a booklet, which will come to you. Okay. Any last comments? Any last quick 1 or 2 words before we close?
Sir, I want to ask something.
Yeah, sure. Yes, Tasneem.
Sir, we got.
Tasneem, unmute yourself, please. Haji, boliye Tasneem.
Sir, give me a moment.
Yeah.
You can hear me, sir?
I can clearly hear you. Yes.
Okay, sir, we got lots of insight, lots of enrichment, how we can work on ourselves for compassion, for working for number 6 laws and many other stuff, courtesy and being a mother. But sir, when we see others who are doing malpractices, how are we going to deal about those people? Because even if we are not revealing, it's a guilt factor in us that though we are looking at it and we cannot do anything. Sometimes we are termed as reporters or that chugli khor and something like that. Just giving one example, today only it happened. I'm a teacher by profession. One of my colleagues, though there is no network issue, but she was not switching on her camera. And she told me, being I was the host in the class, she said that I have a network issue and I'm not going to switch on my camera. So this is a habitual practice of her in many of the classes. So I don't want to see anything like this, what she's doing to principal madam. I don't want to do it. But how to come out of this and how to stop her for doing this? All these things are petty things which I come across and I really feel guilt on students' side. So how to come out and how to work about it, sir?
I can just, I'm just trying to understand what is the thing. The first and foremost, Tasneem, you come home to your joy. You come home to your unconditional love. Aap Allah ke saath jud jaiye, that's the first step. So for a moment, don't worry about that other lady. Don't worry. You be one with love. You be one with Allah's grace. That's the first step. I'm not saying you condone. Number 2, listen to her, love her, befriend her, and find out more about what it is. And you set a great example and do not judge her. Because I'll tell you something, Tasneem, if you see her as that beautiful light, the sun behind the clouds, you hold that vision of her, you treat her like that, you are forgiving towards her, you love her, Allah will transform her. Tasneem, it's not your job to change. आपका काम नहीं है उसको तब्दील करना, चेंज करना, वो अल्लाह का काम है. आपका काम है उसको प्यार करना. आपका काम है अपने आप को make yourself a pure burning fire of loving energy, so that anyone who comes near Tasneem feels so much peace, so much sukoon, so much joy they feel. And that field of yours, Tasneem, will touch that lady, will touch that lady. I'll just repeat one thing. For many years, I made a mistake. I thought my task was to change people. And then somebody told me, your task is to love people. God's work is to change people. But are you loving her enough? Or if you're judging her, you can't be loving her. अगर आप फिंगर पॉइंट करते ना उसकी तरफ, देखो यार ये कैसी है, अरे बाबा उसके अंदर भी वही अल्लाह का नूर है जो आपके अंदर है तस्नीम, क्योंकि जर्रे जर्रे में उसी का नूर है. जान खुद में वो ना तुझसे दूर है, उसमें इसमें सब में वो है वही यार मेरा सब जगह भरपूर. Practice that, practice forgiveness, and when I send you the list of items, you will know what you have to do. Yeah, but do not judge her. She may be having difficulties, she may be tired, you don't know what she's going on at home. You don't know what you have, maybe no idea. Befriend her, listen to her, ask her, and trust Allah to guide you what to do. Listen to your inner voice. Huh?
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Last question, and then over to Stefania, and then we go back to the main hall. Okay. What I'd love is just one word, 2 words. How was it? You can put it in the chat box also. How was your experience? Put it in the chat box. Bhavi, yeah, thanks. Bhavi has gone. And Sean, thank you. Okay, very insightful. Okay. Anything else you want to share? Anyone? Okay. So, Stefania, thank you very much to you. Thank you to Pramod. Thank you to all of you present here. Have a lovely time and God bless. All the very best. Is there anything? Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Arun, for sharing your thoughts and the practices. I think this was a really interesting and insightful session. I'm just going to wrap up because we're automatically going to be sent back to the main room. So thank you, everyone. We will be going on a short break shortly for a few minutes, but please either remain in the main room or join back before 4 o'clock as we move on to the closing plenary by Faisal Khan and a beautiful concert after that. Thank you so much and see you all.
Thanks a lot. Bye, Stefania. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye-bye.
Welcome back. We're back in the main room and we will begin with the closing plenary session at 4 p.m. India time. That's about 25 minutes from now. So in the meanwhile, feel free to hang around. You can network with each other here on the chat if you like. And the Seeds of Peace team here is also around if you have any questions for us about Seeds of Peace or about Samvaad. Some of us might be off video, but we are around in case you have questions.
Yes, Rukmini, I would like to know more about Samvaad because I'm trying practicing for the first time. So what exactly this is your first conference or?
Yes. Our director of programs is here. Sagar, would you like to tell Jayanti ma'am a little about it?
Yeah, because I came to know through URI, United Religious Initiative.
Right.
So I've been, my TD Singh is the founder, trustee of that, and now he's no more, and we constantly got introduced. So I wouldn't know about this group, so I thought I should know more about you. And you are based in Mumbai?
Yes, we are in Mumbai.
So the parent organization is New York based. It's called Seeds of Peace. It's a global organization, and currently we are active in Israel, Palestine, Egypt, Jordan, India, Pakistan, US, and UK. And in the past, we have worked in the Cyprus, the Balkans. So currently, we have a camp which gets adolescents from opposite sides of conflict, like Israel, Palestine, India, Pakistan, together for a 3.5 weeks camp in the US. So the founder was from US. So we have a camp in the state of Maine, near, like, it's 3 hours from Boston. It's deep in the woods, a beautiful place, which basically gets the youngsters together and it creates a safe space for them. And every day they have 2 hours of dialogue and they explore the similarities and differences. And of course, they have different type of activities. There are sports, there are different skills that they learn over there, and which basically promotes understanding, mutual respect, listening skills, leadership, collaboration, empathy. And with these new skills, they come back to their home countries. And so the program also exists in different parts of the world, which I mentioned. So India has a separate program. So so we do follow up programmings around the year to take these skills forward. And of course, we do interfaith harmony camps. So there are other skill building workshops, leadership workshops that keep happening. So we were doing interfaith harmony camp for the last 6 years with adolescents. And through that, we saw this opportunity with the US consulate. It was a grant which required us to actually take this to universities, like train college professors on interfaith dialogue facilitation skills, with an objective that these professors, after getting trained, will then go and conduct dialogue in their colleges. So that's how the Samvaad project began in January 2021. And we had a cohort of 30 professors from Western India, which is Maharashtra, Goa, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. So the phase 1 was basically engaging them online over 8 sessions of 2 hours each, creating an in-depth understanding of what is interfaith, what are its intersections, what is dialogue, and through various modalities, like there were workshops, there were discussions, there were film screenings that happened, And
so in their respective campuses, they'll be having a interfaith center. That means in these campuses, suppose the professors are representing.
That's recommended. So that's one of the recommendations.
Because
we are calling
that is what is needed. That is needed.
Yeah, we are calling it as dialogue clubs. But depending on the bandwidth and the time that's available, the professors are going to take it forward. And I think this summit is part of that plan, where we are creating more awareness and we are having more partnerships, so that there's everybody understands why interfaith dialogue is needed, or like why dialogue is needed, and also to let people know that yes, we are available if any kind of help is required. So we have also started offering intro sessions till January 30th, 2022. We are going to offer free sessions. So a couple of colleges have already opted for those. So in order to create awareness, if the college students or the professors want to know what is interfaith dialogue, we are doing introductory sessions as well. So you can, if you want, you can get in touch with either Pallavi, Urmi, or any one of us, and we can arrange that for you as well. So that's happening in the next 1 month now. And yeah, so as I said, the phase 1 was more of creating a base for understanding what is faith.
Because today's youth, I think for the youth, it is very important. Campuses and colleges, this sort of interfaith dialogue will make a difference. So they are molded accordingly.
Right.
So that is, I think, if the youth are educated, and that will definitely have some. And especially we're talking about this empathy and different skills, all these things. And I think these workshops on this and giving them some, actually, also like now that this is an age of science and technology. So because we have some groups even abroad, like John Templeton Foundation, they are actually working, they're doing research on all the science of humility, science of happiness, science of compassion. So because some this evidence-based, a combination, because we deal with that combination of that with interfaith dialogue. We call science and interfaith dialogue. So that becomes more what you call it, consolidates, and it gives them a better authoritative understanding for why interfaith dialogue. I mean, otherwise, many of them think that, because all are fed up of this conflicts and this religions and all. No? So from the medium of science, and if we bring this,
yes, to bring some rationality to it.
Yeah, exactly. Objective understanding of our approach, our reasoning, and our relation.
In fact, our Interfaith Harmony Camp also works on that. We try to build critical thinking to critically examine the prejudices and stereotypes and biases that we hold. How to tune into yourself and all. So
all false identities and many things are there. Because of there is always conflict and clash and all these things. So very good. But I was very pleased to see. I did go through website, but not in depth. But I think now we'll check it out. And you have it in next year, right? This session, Jan 22nd.
Yeah. No. I mean, we have kept it open, and colleges are reaching out to us and giving us a date according to their schedules. Then we are either conducting online if it's convenient, or we are also open to come down, like send our facilitators and in-person facilitate any of the sessions.
Okay, very good. Nice talking to you, Sagar. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jain.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Sagar, could you make Vedant co-host as well? Hi, Vedant.
Just a minute. Just finding Vedant. Yeah, got it. All right.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Vedant.
Hi. I'm just setting up, so I'll turn on my video in a couple of minutes. I think Bindu is also joining us.
Yeah, Bindu's not here yet. I hope she'll be here in a couple.
Yes. She'll be here soon. Yes. Yeah.
Sagar, is it you who's recording?
No.